Oh my God, you guys, I am so excited about this new to me Gemini feature that I had to do a quick video, and I want to show you what's possible with this and basically how you can take one piece of content with Gemini and get a whole bunch more out of it. So that's what we're going to cover in today's video. What's up, guys? Kim Doyal here, and I have been using Gemini a ton. I've been using it for a bunch of SEO on my website, which I vibe coded with Mocha. You can check it out at kimdoyal.com. And there's still some little tweaks and stuff, but I've built so much content into the site that now I'm sort of, I don't want to say going back, but you don't know what you don't know until something breaks. So I've learned a ton about master constraints and really setting up some guardrails as I vibe code. But that's not what today's video is about. It's about a feature in Gemini that I discovered through another video, gave it a test, and was blown away. So I'm going to show you exactly what this is, how you can use it, and how you can take this to create a bunch more content, all from one original piece of content. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check it out. All right, so what you're looking at right now, this is an infographic that was created in Gemini from a blog post. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you the original one that I did because there's a few different features here. And then we're going to create one together, and I'll show you how I would then take that and create other pieces of content with it. Because the goal with our content, remember, is it's not to just publish once and forget it. Guilty as charged often. But we want to get more leverage out of it. And how do we repurpose it in a way that works for different platforms and that you get a longer life cycle out of it? Now, the challenge, of course, with AI content is that I don't think this is going to be a moot point in 6 months per se, but it's moving so quickly, it's kind of hard to tell. Anyway, so what you're looking at, this is an infographic that Gemini created. And it's funny because I actually pulled up something old and it created this that wasn't relevant to what it did, but that's all right. What you're looking at right now on the screen, on the right-hand side, this is the canvas, and on the left-hand side is my chat over here. So you chat here and you can see where I've selected canvas. I like working in this 2-column, kind of 3/4 wide, a quarter on the left. I like working in this format. One, you have to work in the format with a canvas in order to get the option for the infographic. And two, it's just nice to feel like I'm conversing over here on the left and I'm working over here on the right. So this is the one I just was playing around. I was doing some audio tests this morning, and this is what it created right out of the chute. And I want to show you a couple things. So it's got built-in animations because this is actually built within code. Now you can see as I hover over it, so there's not a ton here. However, this is all great content that I can repurpose. The first one I did, let's see if this pulls this up. This is interesting. What I'm saying is interesting is because this was an infographic. So I'll just use this one. I was going to pull in another post to do it. So I selected this. And again, when you've created previous canvases, you've created content, you can see that this is where you open that up. So I've clicked on this and you can see that it's synced over on the right. So I'm going to come up to the top right here where it says create. And look, you can create a web page, an infographic, a quiz, or an audio view. So let's go ahead and click on infographic. And we're going to let that run. And a couple things I want to tell you, and if this takes too long, I'll probably pause the video and circle back. But what you want to keep in mind, this is a conversation that it's a very long conversation that I have with Gemini that I've been working on content for my site. So it knows my fonts, it's got my hex codes, my color codes, it knows what my content is, it knows who my audience is. All of that's already in here. And if you're not familiar with Gemini in terms of its ability to have really, really long conversations as opposed to a project like you can do with Claude or with ChatGPT. Now, we can do a whole other video on gems another time, but for the purpose of this, I just keep using the same conversation. And trust me, I ask Gemini frequently, is this getting too long? Is this getting too long? Because I get a little bit concerned that I don't want to lose everything. And when I do that with Claude, when I'm in a long conversation, because I know that I will run out of context within Claude. So I will say, let me know when this conversation is getting too long, because I want a recap and I want the next initial prompt to continue this conversation in a new thread. And so from that perspective, I don't lose everything. Now Claude is able to access not just files in a project now, I believe this just came out a couple weeks ago, but it'll actually reference other chats that you've had in that window. Okay, so this is running, so I'll be right back. I'm going to let this pull up, and then we'll jump back in. All right, guys, I'm actually my own worst enemy. This is not the first time I've done this. I actually had 2 tabs of Gemini open, and I went back to the wrong one. I'm like, you're not listening. You're not even paying attention to it. Anyway, so first of all, it did do the wrong infographic. It pulled up this AI-powered solopreneur, AI Modern Playbook, which was something that we had just done because I asked it to do the other canvas, which was the state of AI for entrepreneurs. So you're absolutely right to call me out. I'm so sorry. So here is that infographic. Okay. And one of the things that I had done with this, you can see when I hover over this, this is great. Again, these are my colors. Originally, when it did this, it didn't have the percentages in the wheel. And I felt like, while it looked great, you wouldn't know what is this. And so I would probably give it some tweaks here, and we can do a quick prompt on that. Let's see. Now, I'm going to show you one other tool, which I've talked about a zillion times, which is Wispr Flow. It is my absolute favorite. It's probably the tool I use the most. So Wispr Flow, if you look above my dock here, you see this little black little button that appears. So when I click that, I'm going to dictate and I'm going to talk to Gemini, and I'm going to tell it to fix these 4 elements so that they go straight across, and the research and data we can't even see. So I'm going to ask it to fix that. But what I'll do is I will pause talking to you, and I'm going to talk directly to Wispr Flow, and then we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, great. This is much better. If you could fix the bottom section of the Solopreneurs AI Toolkit, you've got each of like the color, the key in terms of what colors equal what type of content. What type of AI. The vibe coding, the building is getting cut off, and we don't actually see the research and data. So can you either make the color blocks, instead of a big rectangle, make them squares or circles? And let's see if we can get that all on 1 line or 2 lines. But right now it's getting cut off, and we don't see the last category of research and data. And this is only in the Solopreneurs AI Toolkit. The rest of it looks great. All right, so I clicked finish. There we go. And you can see, boom, this is why, I'll show you guys. If you can look here, I use, like I said, daily. I have dictated 529,000 words in the last 17 weeks because of how much I've been working with these tools. And it's a lot easier for me to look at what I'm working on and then just walk through and explain it instead of like trying to type out. And the great thing is that Wispr Flow will clean up. So I've sneezed and said, oh, excuse me, it takes it out. So it's wonderful. All right, so let's go ahead and run this, and let's see, I will pause again. Okay, there we go, guys. So look at how quickly it fixed, oh, it's still running, but you can see how quickly it fixed that. It's great, and it let us know that it changed the style. This is the other thing I want to point out. As you're working with this and you're doing anything that is delivering a result like this, especially with coded, it tells you what it's doing, why it's doing it, and how it fixed it. Oh, there we go. That actually looks much better. I like the little circles. That's great. And so what I would do with this, I would tell it to create a blog post about the state of AI for entrepreneurs, and then I was going to give it an infographic, and a blog post that supported this, and I would go through and tweak it. And all I literally have to do is copy it. So you would just hit share and then copy contents, and it will display it just like this, which is fantastic. Now, let's do one more quick little test here. See if I remember that I've opened another Gemini tab. So let's do this. Let's just take this and I'm going to copy and paste this. And the reason I'm copying and pasting it as opposed to doing a screenshot is one thing, in case you don't know this, is that whatever size image you upload, if I were to do a screenshot of this landscape image, but you notice it's narrow, it's not like a 1280 by 720, it's narrow, where the Solopreneurs AI Toolkit, oh, that broke again, I'd have to come back and fix that. But if I were to use this, I could just do a screenshot because it's much more relevant for a social image. So what we're going to go ahead and just do a quick test. And again, I'm going to pause and I'm going to dictate to Gemini and tell it what I'm looking for. Hello, I would love your help. I need an image for, a social promotion for an infographic that I've done. I'm going to give you the statistic and I would love for you to create the image. And what I'm looking for, this is all about the tipping point of AI and that it's now standard practice. So I'm going to give you the text. And here's the image that I'm kind of thinking in my head. First of all, I sort of like that 3D Pixar style animation. I use those for a lot of my blog posts. So let's make sure this is a landscape 16:9 ratio. And I'm going to give you my hex code. But I'm thinking something that is about it being a shift in how entrepreneurs work and that so many more people are adopting it. So maybe it is, let's just do one of my Pixar style images that is a midlife woman working at her home office desk. And again, this is that 3D Pixar style. But let's do computer screens kind of like think Tony Stark, the way he worked with Jarvis. So they're in the air, they're digital, and she's got long, wavy, blonde, kind of light brown hair, and she's dressed casually in a tank top and shorts, and she's working on, we've got an Apple keyboard on the desk, there's a glass of water. It is a beautiful sunny day. Her office is sort of mid-century modern and big windows with pine trees outside. It should be just kind of another everyday day for this woman working out of her home office. Oh, and she's got a microphone that she's dictating into while she's working on the computer. Oh, and here's the statistic that I want you to put up on one of the screens. Okay, so let's see how that goes. I'm going to go ahead and run this. And Nano Banana, as you can see, the little banana. There's two image models within Gemini now. We have Nano Banana, and then I think the other one is Imagen. But to be able to select the difference, I do believe you need to use Google AI Studio. So let me pause this for one more sec. Okay, so it did a pretty good job, except for, and I'm going to correct it, she's not in a tank top and shorts. What's up? She's in a blazer. And I wanted it landscape. So let's try a quick correction here. Please. I'm going to just dictate, you guys. It's so much faster. Okay, the image is great. I love the screens, the mic, everything. But this was supposed to be a 16:9 ratio. And she was supposed to be dressed in casual clothes. So again, let's put her like in a t-shirt and shorts or something. Not, she looks like she belongs in corporate America. And that's not the look we're going for here. Okay, let's let that run for one sec. There we go. Well, we changed the shirt, but it's still not 16:9. Either way, the point with this is you can see that this would then be a great image just for social sharing if you wanted to do this. But each of these points, all of these are great for social sharing, whether you want to create an individual image or you want to take this and maybe do a note on Substack or wherever you're going to share stuff to. But the point being, from one infographic, this is an individual post, this is an individual post, this is an individual post. You get the point. I'm going to sound really redundant in a second. And the other thing I'll tell you is I asked it where it got this data from, and it's up further in the thread. So you can always say, be more specific with the data, or something else you can do is do a new infographic here. Go to Perplexity or get all the data first and say, I'd like you to create an infographic for me based on the following data. And if you have not given the context to Gemini yet in terms of your colors and your brand, whatnot, then go ahead and make sure to include that in the context as well. And again, remember, so depending on what you're using with WordPress, you should just be able to come up to the code, copy it. It's HTML, very easy to copy and paste this, drop it into the HTML, whatever tool you're using for that. I would literally just copy this and give it to Mocha and say, please create this blog post. And this feels a little bit on the generic side to me in terms of the content. So I might do the state of AI for solopreneurs or content creators or something a little bit more specific. And I would probably look for citings, cite the references, for that. So anyways, you guys, if you're not using Gemini for infographics, give it a shot. And you can do all of this with a free Gemini account. You don't need to be on the Pro account. So if you have a Gmail account, sign up for Gemini. It's free to use. This is one of the things that comes along with the free account. So anyways, you guys, let me know. I would love to see if you do this or tried it. I mean, have some fun with this. But man, Gemini and Google is blowing me away. I feel like they were just kind of quietly doing their stuff in the background. And all of a sudden it's like, bam! There's like a bazillion tools and new things that you can use Google AI for that are all free. Anyways, as always, thanks so much for watching. If you've not subscribed to the channel, it really helps me. I would greatly appreciate it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Give me a like, share it, all the good things, and I will catch you next time.